Hey guys, welcome to the Repair, Restore and Retrain Warrior session. I'm really looking forward to having you guys at the session today. Just want to make sure that we are all starting off with the same things. So if you've got any cans, then that'll be fantastic. Full cans would be ideal. Doesn't matter what they are. I've got chopped tomatoes at a ridiculously low price of 49p. So I'm slightly suspicious about that. But grab some cans if you have them. You don't need to have cans, but they do help provide a little bit of resistance because we're going to do some stuff to sort of tone and strengthen through the shoulders today. Also, don't make sure to have make sure you've got some water as well. That's super important. And as well, for some of the exercises, we are also going to be using a cushion, but not to sleep. So bad luck. Right, let's get started. We're just going to start by sitting cross-legged on the floor. So, make yourselves nice and comfy. And when I say we're going to sit cross-legged, I don't want us to cross the legs in the traditional sense, whereby we cross over at the ankles. The reason for this is because as soon as we do this, it kind of shifts our pelvis slightly. And what we want to do is to have a really nice neutral pelvis, because as soon as we have a neutral pelvis, then that means you've got more chance of having an aligned, straight spine. So make sure you can see both your ankle bones in front of you. You're going to sit up nice and tall. If this does feel a bit uncomfy for you, especially around your knees, then you're more than welcome just to get a couple of pillows on either side just to prop it up so you're not using those muscles if that's uncomfy for you. But we're going to sit up nice and tall just to start with, and we're going to start by focusing in and preparing ourselves for this session. So I'll invite you to close your eyes, and you're going to sit up nice and tall, lifting through the crown of your head. And I want you to lengthen up through your spine as much as you can. And you're going to relax the shoulders and just take some deep breaths in and out. Hi Vika, I can see you. And we're going to take some deep breaths in and out. Doesn't matter how you're breathing. We can have our hands in the sides, on our knees, or you can place them in your lap. The main thing for this is just to try and keep the muscles around your face as relaxed as possible. Take some deep breaths in, trying to fill up your lungs as much as you can. And as you breathe out, just try and get out as much air from your lungs as you can. So trying to make the most efficient breath as possible, really filling up our lungs as much as we can and trying to get out as much oxygen and air from our lungs as we can. Doesn't matter how you're doing this, but I just want you to be conscious of what's going on with your body. So notice where you have any tension. Notice where you might find yourself needing to work a little bit harder to keep yourself sitting up straight. Have a think about whether you're carrying any tension around the face, around the jaw, around the shoulders, even around the knees and the hands. So really focus on every exhale, just relaxing a bit more through the body. As well, have a think about what part of your body is moving when you're breathing in and when you're breathing out. Are you lifting through the shoulders as you breathe in? Are you moving through the top of the ribs? Is perhaps the lower part of your ribcage moving, or even your stomach moving? I'm now going to invite you to take that breath down into the belly. So as you breathe in, I want you to expand and relax through the belly as much as you can, drawing all that air down right to the bottom of your lungs. Taking as full breath in as you can. And when you breathe out, I want you to think about trying to squeeze from the bottom of your stomach muscles all the way up, as though you're rolling up the bottom of a tube of toothpaste, trying to get out as much air from the bottom of your lungs as you can. If you want, you can have your hands just on your belly, and as you breathe in, I want you to feel your belly pushing out against your hands. And they're going to keep pushing out until you can't push them out anymore, and then you're going to start moving through the bottom part of the ribs. And as you breathe into those ribs, remember you're breathing into the hands as well, but you're also breathing into the back. It's really important to breathe and expand through the back as well. And as you breathe out, just try gathering in the pelvic floor from back to front. And take your deep breath out. Remember to relax the shoulders. And try and make these breaths as deep and as full as possible. So as you're breathing in, you're breathing into the belly is relaxing out to the front and to the sides. When you feel like you've reached that capacity, you're then going to start moving and expanding through the rib cage, out to the front, to the sides, and especially out towards the back. A lot of our lung movement comes from the back. So really breathe into there. And as you're breathing out, gathering the pelvic floor from back to front, and just feel it you're slowly squeezing out the air from your lungs right from the bottom. So continue to take these deep breaths in, breathing into the belly, breathing into your hands, taking it up through the ribs, the lower part of the ribs especially, out to the front, the sides and the back. And as you breathe out, just gathering the pelvic floor from back to front. I want you to take the deepest breaths you've ever taken in your life. And we're now going to get a time with this as well. So I've got a timer. And I want you to breathe in for 4. You're going to hold that air in your lungs for 4. You're going to breathe out for a count of 4. And you're going to hold no air in your lungs for a count of 4. It's known as box breathing. Really, really important to practice this. It calms your nervous system, it calms you down. It focuses you in a time when we really need focus. Even if you only manage 1 round, then call that a success. If you find 4 as a count is too hard, then take it down to 3. You're breathing in for 3. You're holding the air lightly in your lungs for a count of 3. You're going to breathe out for a count of 3. And you're going to hold no air in your lungs for a count of 3. That's really important. For any of these ones, we are holding your breath, and I don't often ask you to do this, but you're holding it nice and lightly. Keep the muscles around the face relaxed, and always try to do your best. If you can easily do 4, take it up to 5. If you can easily do 5, take it up to 6. But we're looking to improve lung capacity. We're looking to strengthen through the diaphragm, which is the muscle just underneath the lungs. We're also looking to get these stomach muscles working too. Focus on your breathing. Take a deep breath in through the belly. Take it up through to the ribs. And on your out breath, you're just going to gather in the pelvic floor from back to front. Gently trying to get as much air out of your lungs as you can. So you want to try and get as full breaths as we can for this. You've only got a few more rounds. Keep sitting up nice and tall. Do a quick mental check to make sure you're not holding any tension through the eyes, through the mouth, through the face, or through the shoulders. Just got a few more rounds of this. We've got one more. Take a deep breath in. Into the bottom of the lungs, breathe into the belly, expand, expand, expand through the rib cage as well. You're going to hold that air in your lungs for a count of 4. And you're going to breathe out for a count of 4. And you're going to hold no air in your lungs for a count of 4. At the end of your next exhale, you're just going to open the eyes, and we're going to take both arms up above the head, stretching all the way up. Hi to Vika, hi to Candice, hi guys. If you haven't already got it, then do please go and grab 2 cans of kidney beans, chopped tomatoes, chickpeas, whatever you fancy, and a cushion. Okay, so we're going to grab the left wrist with our right hand, and we're going to pull it all the way up, and we're going to take it over to the side. So we're just stretching through the upper back at the moment. With a nice lateral stretch all the way over. Good. Take a deep breath in. And let's take the right hand all the way up to the ceiling as far as we can. We then grab our wrist and we take it over to the other side. So we're going to use this stretch to help grow through the spine, to stretch up through the vertebrae. Good. Take a deep breath in and take it all the way up. From here, we'll just take the head onto one side, taking the right ear down to the right shoulder. And we're going to drive through that heel of the hand all the way through. And we're going to bring it slowly up until it's shoulder height. This is a really lovely stretch. The more you pull your fingertips back, the more you'll feel this nerve stretch through the arm. Good. And we'll take it up to the center and let's swap over. So remember to take the ear down to the shoulder, not the shoulder up to the ear. We're going to push down through the heel of the right hand, and we're going to pull the fingers back, and we're just going to lift the arm roughly until it's shoulder height. So you should feel a bit of a stretch through the nerves here. Good. Take it all the way back to the center, and we'll just do some half circles through the neck. So feel the heaviness of your head. Nice. From here, we'll go back up to the center. Left hand is going to come onto right knee. Your right hand is going to come behind you. We're going to do a little bit of a rotational twist, but before we do this, we're going to sit up nice and tall first. Make sure our spine is aligned and our chin is tucked in. And then we're going to take our gaze behind us. Hold this here for a few seconds. And we'll take it round to the other side. So the right hand comes onto the knee, the left hand comes behind us. We're going to sit up nice and tall, but tucking that chin in as well. And we're going to take our gaze behind us. Good. And come back to the center. Now, if any of you felt any issues with your pelvic, with your scar, if you've had a C-section, and if you could feel that pulling as we're doing that gentle rotation, then that's a really good sign that you would really benefit from some C-section scar tissue massage. So if anyone wants any information on that, just let me know, and I will be sure to give you some information about that separately at the end of this. Right, so we're now going to stretch through the shoulders. Now I'm a little bit warmed up. Right guys, we mean business. Okay, so for this one, we're just going to stretch through the shoulder blades. Grab a cushion if you have one. Oh, some random pop-ups come up on my screen. Okay. So we're going to grab a cushion. We're going to have our feet close together. We're just going to pop that cushion, doesn't matter how it is, in between our knees, and we want to make sure our knees are pressing in towards that cushion. Right hand is just going to come and help support us to keep us upright. And left hand, I'm just going to take out in front. So this is parallel to the floor. And all I want you to do here is just slide that shoulder blade forwards and slide it back. So you're sliding it forwards and back. So nothing else is moving. It's just this left shoulder blade sliding backwards and forwards. Now there's no need at all to push this. We're not about straining anything. All we're looking to do here is just to get a bit more mobility, a little bit more range of motion, and we're warming up the shoulder muscles and we're getting some blood flow to the joints. So try and keep everything else nice and still, no twisting through the body. Just moving the hand backwards and forwards. Good, we're going to take it up to 45 degrees and you're going to do the same thing again. So we often have a lot of shoulder issues, especially as mums, because we're carrying babies and we're carrying buggies and we're carrying the car seats and all that kind of stuff. And our shoulders are not made to deal with heavy weights like our legs are. Good, and take it down 45 degrees. I'm just going to do the same thing. So our shoulders just need an extra bit of love and care. Like they're so good at doing range of motion and doing some crazy things. And we can do things with our shoulders through the shoulder joint that we can't do with our legs. Don't forget to squeeze those knees together, people. Good. And let's take it over to the other side. So by making sure we've got healthy shoulders, it means that we're going to be more likely to be able to carry our babies. The heavier they get, the less risk of injury. So make sure your left hand is just holding onto your knees, helping to keep you upright. We're going to squeeze those knees together as tight as we can. And the arm is going to come out in front of us. And keeping everything nice and straight, we're just going to move the shoulder backwards and forwards. So the technical term for this, which I think is a little bit weird, is like osteoarticular upper limb pumping. That's what we're doing, guys, but that kind of sounds weird. So let's just say we're going to work on some nice warm up and mobility through the shoulders. Good, remember to keep everything else nice and still. Don't forget to keep squeezing through those knees. Good, let's take it up at 45 degrees. And we're going to do the same. So you're stretching as far as you can. Easily take it without the rest of your body moving. If you can't take it that far, that doesn't matter. It's not about how flexible we are through our shoulder blades. It's just warming these up. Do we often get stuck in certain positions, especially at the moment with lockdown. Good, now take it down 45 degrees. And we're just coming up and down. Good. Good, last couple of ones. Make sure you're still sitting up nice and tall. Squeezing those knees together. Good, and that is it. Let's place the cushion to the side. Make sure you guys have got some water, but we're going to start off in a minute just working through glutes. You could just lie down on your back with your knees bent. Just realise that the microphone I normally use isn't on, so I'm just going to go and grab that. Right. So I'm hoping if I put this in halfway through, it's not going to ruin everything. Sorry, guys. I don't know if any of you noticed the difference. Okay. Okay. So I don't know if they've noticed the difference with the microphone, but it makes me feel better. Right. Okay, so we're going to take it back down to the floor. This time you get to lie down on your back. Oh, that feels so good. Okay, so from here, we're going to make sure that we can just about brush the backs of our heels with our fingertips. We're going to lie down nice and straight. We're going to make sure that we're actually lying straight on. Sometimes it's really easier for us to kind of lie slightly awkwardly away from our hips, especially if you've got lots of kids stuff around. So just make sure everything is in alignment. And we're going to grab the pillow and we're going to squeeze it between our hands. And the only thing we're going to do now is we're just going to rock the pelvis backwards and forwards. So we're rocking the pelvis backwards and forwards. It's a really, really tiny movement. We're just going to get a little bit of pelvic mobility through here and a little bit of awareness. So as you push your pelvis forwards, you should feel your lower back come off the ground. And as you pull it backwards, you'll probably notice that your lower back starts pressing against the ground. So really good just to be aware of this. And from here, now we're going to just peel our spine off the ground, trying to get it up one vertebrae at a time until we've got our hips off the ground. We don't want to take them up too high. As soon as we take them up so high, then we can actually start losing any connection through our stomach. And what we're looking to do here is actually keep a connection through the stomach. So we're going to press our hands together at all times during this. And the reason why is it actually helps give us a better connection through our core muscles. So breathe in, and as you come out, breathe out. And breathe in. As you come down, breathe out as you roll your bum off the ground. And if you want to, be extra smart about this. Every single time you breathe out and take your bum up off the ground, you're going to gather in the pelvic floor from back to front. Release everything as you come down, breathe in. And as you breathe out, gather on the pelvic floor and lift up those hips. So we'll do some in your own time, or you can follow me, whatever feels easiest, but keep those hands pressing together. When you're pressing them together, try not to lock out through the elbow joints, have a slight bend in them. You can relax slightly as you come down and as you breathe out. Just press them in together. Also, make sure that these knees, as you come up, aren't coming out towards the sides. Try and keep them in, because you'll need to use some of your leg muscles to keep them in the same position and not splay out towards the side. So you're breathing out, good, and breathing in. This time now, we're going to take the hips up towards the ground. The arms are going to come behind us, and they're going to come up, and our hips come down. So we're now just combining some arm movements for this as well. So as soon as we start moving through the arms, we just need to make sure we've got even more core stability going on here. So you're breathing out, the arms come in, and you're breathing in to return back down to the ground. If you can get a pelvic floor activation in as you breathe out, then even better. So keep pressing these arms in. We've warmed up our shoulders, and now we're going to start using them. Breathing out, last one. And taking it all the way down. You can put the cushion to one side. We're now just going to focus more on specifically our glutes. So we're going to come up into a little hip thrust, and we're just going to squeeze, 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 pulsing through those bum muscles. So if you want to have a grab of your bum, and you should be able to feel with your fingers that these muscles are working. So it's less really the outside of the muscles for this, and it's more the muscles that you can feel if you cup your bum. Good, so we're just squeezing, squeezing, squeezing. Little tiny pulses up through here. Now what I see a lot is when the knees come out to the side, because that kind of makes it easier. But what we want to do is to try and keep our knees the same width the whole way through. And we've got 4, 3, 2, keep the bum up, and we're just going to take the heels off, and down, and up, and down. Good, so we're now working through the legs now. Taking it up and down. At the same time, we need to keep our bum muscles nice and activated. So driving through those feet. We're stretching, we're mobilizing our feet, we're giving them the love and attention that they need. And we've got 3, 2, and 1. Keep the heels up off the ground. And again, I just need to pulse up and down through the bum. So up and down with the glutes. You should really be feeling it now in your bum. Make sure you're smiling, make sure you're breathing. Good. And we've got 4, 3, 2. Keep the bum up even more, and we're just going to squeeze the knees together slightly. So you're going to draw those knees together. They don't need to touch, they don't need to squeeze. We're just drawing them together, and we're working on the inner thigh muscles. Good. So, little tiny movements. You don't need those knees to even touch or press together, but we do want to feel it on the insides of our thighs. So guys, even though we're working on our glutes, we're working as well on toning, shaping the legs. Good. 3, 2, and 1. Take them back to the original position. Keep the bum up off the ground, heels off the ground. And I just want you now to start taking them out. If you feel like your bum needs a break, then by all means, come back down. Roll back down slowly. Take a bit of a breather before you come back up. So now we're pulsing outwards. So the knees aren't coming any closer together. They're just coming out, 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 out. We've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Take the knees back down, and let's roll all the way down. Let's hug both those knees in towards the chest. Keep them in nice and tight. Again, for those of you that are suffering from lower back pain, this is a really, really lovely little stretch because it lengthens and it just eases off the pressure on the vertebrae through the lower back. So pull those knees in nice and tight, relax round the bum. You don't have to keep the knees together. You can take them out wide if you fancy. Good, and the feet are going to come back to the ground. From here, we're going to take it into working on the inner core muscles. So we're going to take it into marches. Having one foot that comes up, try and keep the knee at right angle, and as you breathe out, I just need to gather in the pelvic floor and gently lower down that foot. So as you do this, you should feel that your lower back starts to press against the ground. Breathe in, take the knee up, and as you breathe out, just gather in the pelvic floor as you lower that foot gently to the ground. So you're going to continue doing this, swapping over the legs. Take a deep breath in, the knees at 90 degrees, breathe out, and you should also feel a little bit of a tightening around the lower part of your abdominals. If you want, you can have your fingers there, just in the groove that's a few inches in towards your belly button from your hip bones. And as you breathe out and you gather in the pelvic floor, you should feel a little tightening just underneath here. Good. Got one more on this foot. And all the way back down. For those of you who are less than 3 months, we're going to continue doing these marches with both feet starting on the ground. Otherwise, Vibka, and now I know what you guys are like. You should be able to have a go at this. If it doesn't feel right, then take it back down to both feet on the ground. Otherwise, we're going to have knees off the ground. And as you breathe out, one foot is going to come down towards the ground. And as you breathe in, you're going to take it back up. So if anyone else wants to try this, then do feel free. But the warning signs that you're not quite ready for this is your back, lower back arching off the ground. And it also, most important, is if you notice your stomach muscles bulging up or coming into a dome. So only take that foot down towards the ground as close as you can, without any of these symptoms happening. So you're breathing out, the lower back should press into the ground. You should feel some tightening through here, but not bulging or doming. Good. So as you breathe out, that foot drops down towards the ground. Soon as you notice any change in your posture, take it back up. For all those of you who feel most comfortable doing it with both feet off the ground, I'm just going to continue doing that for a couple more. So this should really be working those inner core muscles. Good. And we've got last 2. So taking it down towards the ground and breathing in. Try and keep that lower back to the ground at all times. Make sure you're breathing out. And in. Good work. Let's take both feet back down to the ground if you haven't already. Arms are going to come out to the side. You can take your feet slightly wider than before, and I'll show you from the side how we're going to do this. You're going to drop the left knee down towards the left side as far as you can take it. And when you can take it no longer, you're then going to drop the right knee down towards the ground as well. Doesn't matter if any of the knees don't touch. That's not our point here. And then we're going to breathe out. And the right knee is going to come up. I'm going to take it over to the other side. When it can't go any further, that's when our left knee is going to start moving. And it's going to come down with control towards the ground. So you can see that both my feet are still on the ground. And we'll take it up. So not both together. Take the left knee up first, as far as you can take it. When it can go no more, that's when your right knee starts moving as well. And down. So one more. You're going to start opening up through that right knee. And as soon as you take it to a place where it can't go any further, that's when your left knee comes to join it. Good. That's a really nice one just for stretching out through the hips. Left leg is going to come straight. Right knee is going to come up towards our chest. We're going to interlace our hands and we're going to place them against that right knee. Every single time now that you breathe out, you're just going to take your head and your shoulders off the ground a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. And you're going to breathe out, pushing against this knee. And relax. We're going to do 6 on this side. As soon as you start pressing against this knee, you should feel, taking your head and shoulders off the ground, you should feel this core connection starting to work. So we're only going to press on the exhale. At the same time, if you want to really get the most out of this exercise, you're going to gather in the pelvic floor at the same time. So head and shoulders off the ground, breathe out and press. And relax. And again, breathe out. And relax. There's a lot to think about. Gathering the pelvic floor at the same time. Don't hold your breath. And relax. You've got 3 more. Take the head and shoulders off the ground. Breathe out. And relax. Your lower back should also press into the ground as you do this. Breathe out. And we've got 1 more. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, gently going to press. Good. Take the head back down. And let's swap over through the legs. So we've got 6 now, pressing against the left knee. So it's really nice just for gently reactivating through the core. Again, if you notice that it doesn't feel quite right, or if you feel like there's any doming or weird things going on here, then don't do this exercise and message me and we can have a chat about this after the class. This is a lovely way just to reconnect with our stomach muscles. So take a deep breath in. And as we breathe out, we're gently going to press our hands against our knee. And breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out. So the harder you press against the knee, the harder your core is going to have to work. Got 2 more. Breathe out. Deep breath in, last one. And breathe out. Good work. Let's drop the feet back down to the ground. And we're just going to stretch things out. I like to call this a bed stretch. It kind of reminds me of one of the first stretches that you do in bed. So we'll take the hands up to the other side of the room. You're going to sort of point and stretch your feet down to the other side as well. So you really feel, imagine you're on a rack, like one of those torture racks, and you're being pulled from either side. And you might also just want to have a little bit of a wriggle through the hips as well. So from here, come onto the side, grab some water if you need it. Grab your cans. So if you don't have any cans, this is your chance to go and get them now. Haha. Okay, you don't need them just right yet, but we will need them in a very short moment. Yeah, what's going on here? That's not what I want. So my time wrap is playing up. Bastard. Okay, goodness knows what's going on with that one. I'll just have to use a normal timer and fingers crossed it all goes okay. Right, so we'll take it into a bit of a warm up. We're going to take it up and off the ground for now. Guys, if you want to play music in the background, then totally go for it. First thing we're going to do though is a warm up to get everything going. Make sure you've got some water nearby. And we're just going to start with some marching. So keep the toes on the ground and I want you to roll up and down through these feet. We're going to show our feet a little bit of love. So this is nice because this is getting them moving, this is getting them flexing. And remember to keep those toes on the ground for now. So as we're doing this, we're going to try and keep the hips fairly still. And when I say still, there's a big difference between this and doing some kind of sexy hip sway. We don't want to do sexy hip, oh my God, I can't talk. Sexy hip sway. We're going to keep the hips nice and steady for now. And with these feet that are marching, we're now going to add in the arms. We're going to drive through the heel of the hand to take them out in front. So do you remember when we did those shoulder exercises before? Imagine you're stretching out in front, driving through the shoulder blades. And at the same time as you take it back, make it an active press backwards, drawing the elbows back as far as you can, but without pushing that chest forward. Because this, again, is not what we're doing. We try to want to keep everything else nice and steady, and we're just isolating through the bits that we want to move. Good, so keep those feet moving, 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 moving. And then take them to the side as well. So we're going to come front and side, down front and side. Good. So we're warming up through the feet. Don't forget to get all the way through the toes. So for those of you that are just going through half the foot, just get that whole of your toe moving. So it's as though your feet are about to lift off the ground until they get to the end of your toe. Now we're going to take it front, side and up. Front, side and up. Guys, I forgot to mention that there are some rules in this class. And the first rule is keep breathing at all times. Do not hold your breath. Second is, if anything hurts in a way that's more than just muscle ache, don't do it. And the third one is, if you're getting up and off the ground without a baby, then try not to use your hands. Okay, last one. Front, side, and back. Fantastic. Take their feet slightly wider than hip width apart. I just want you to do little pelvic tilts. So from the side, little bend through the knees, and we're just going to tilt backwards and forwards. No need to make this a big movement. Just again, going to get this pelvis nice and mobile. And from here, we're going to dig the outer edges of our feet into the ground. We're going to press, press, press through those edges. At the same time, we're just going to pull the knees in, and we're creating what's known as a lemniscate. Very interesting word. And we're going to keep everything still from the bottom downwards, from the middle downwards. Hands come out to the side, and you're just going to move through that upper part of the back. Nice. So for any of you that are having any issues with mid to upper back pain, this is a really nice one, just for mobilizing. So we're just only going to the right for now. You're going to keep as well the bottom part of your body as still as you can. Good, and over to the other side. Guys, I can see that those of you who've been to a couple of these classes, you're properly getting this now. It can be a little bit hard when you first start. And now let's take it first one side and the other. So don't forget to keep pressing through the outer edges of your feet and just move that top half of your body. Good. And from here, we're going to take it into a little side bend. So again, we're just stretching through the upper part of the spine. It's our thoracic, which is the upper part, that needs the most mobility. And by giving it this mobility, we're then making sure that we're going to be less likely to injure ourselves or pull a muscle. Let's take it over to the other side now. So again, don't forget to keep your bottom half as still as you can. We're just stretching through this top and middle part of the spine. Good. Now we'll do one side, then the other. Good work. Okay, try not to let those hips move. Use the pressure on the outer edges of the foot to keep everything nice and still. Got one more on this side. Good work. Let everything go. Shake it out a little bit with the feet and the arms. And then we're going to pick up these hands. Now, fingers crossed. Really hate it when my timer doesn't work. It worked yesterday. Goodness knows what's going on. But let's see how this one goes. Okay. If you want to grab any kind of drink now, then do. That's not what I want. Okay, I'm trying something else. Goodness knows if it's going to work. But first exercise we're going to do 45 seconds of each exercise, and we're going to go straight in to the next one. So the first round, we'll do 2 rounds of this at least. First one, we might take it a bit more slowly because we're still just trying to get to know the exercises. And the second time, we're going to whiz through it a lot faster. So I'm also going to set this timer on my watch. First one, we're going to take it into squat, so take the feet slightly wider than hip width apart, and with our legs we're just going to come down into a squat. So imagine you're sitting all the way down. When you've got that, the arms are coming in for bicep curls. Good. So if you feel like you have any pressure through the pelvic floor, especially as you're coming into the low part of this squat, then, or if you're experiencing any kind of leaking, then what you want to do is take the feet slightly closer together into narrow leg squats. Okay? So there are things that we can do about this. Otherwise, they're going to be just slightly wider than hip width apart. Okay, people. Come over here so I can read my notes. So we're going to be working on some arm strength. We're going to have a lot of glute strength going on as well, because we lose a lot of glute muscle when we're pregnant. Okay, keep going. And we've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Guys, hands are going to come up in our boxing stance. And we're just going to duck and duck and duck and duck. So imagine you've got someone trying to get you with a punch above. You're never going to stand all the way up. We're going to keep down nice and low for this. So from the side, coming up and down. So this is a real thigh burner. Make sure you're breathing. And one thing actually, I had a conversation with someone the other day where her question was, should I be trying to hold and activate my pelvic floor whilst doing these kind of exercises? And the answer to that is no. Your pelvic floor should do the work for you. It's very rare that you should actively have to do that. Okay, we've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. We're taking this into now reverse lunges. So we're stepping back with the legs. Good. Now with the arms, we're going to take them up above our head. As we come down, the arms come above. Good. If you feel like this is too much for your hips, then you can take it into a static lunge, which is where, whoops, you have one foot in front of the other and you're just coming up and down. So if you do that, you're going to want to make sure that you swap over after 5 different lunges so that you're not going to do your 45 seconds all on one leg. So keep going. I'm going to show you from the other side. Good. We've got 6 and 5. Oh my gosh, my balance. And 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Slight bend in the knees. We're going to take the hands out to the sides, out and in, out, up, out and in, out, side, out, in, out, up, down, in, whoops, out, side, out, in, out, up, down, in. Good. So we're working on strengthening up through the shoulder muscles. We're also adding a little bit of a weight here. So every single time, or the further out, whoops, our cans are from us, and the heavier the weight that we have, the more our stomach muscles have to work. Okay. So make sure you're breathing, make sure you've got a slight bend in those knees as well. Good, your shoulders should be feeling this. Good work. And keep going. Not too much longer to go. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down nice and low. Left leg is staying where it is. And right leg, it's just going to tap out. Keep the elbows in towards the back. And every single time we come out, we're going to take it into controlled tricep kickbacks. So you want to try and keep a nice straight line as you take that foot back out. We're just working through this right leg. So the right leg is doing the moving. Your left leg should be stabilizing you. Should be the one that's feeling the burn through the thighs. Good. So make sure your tricep kickbacks are nice and controlled, that you're squeezing those shoulder blades towards each other without pulling your shoulders towards your ears. Good. Guys, I just looked at the time. Because we started late, we're going to finish a little bit late, okay? We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's take it over to the other side now. Come down nice and low. And we're coming down and up. Good. Good. So as well as we're pushing through that heel of the foot, as we take it back, it also gives us a nice stretch through this leg. Keep going, people. Make sure that the arms aren't swinging. Make sure that those elbows are up and back. We've got 4, 3, 2, and 1. Next one. And the last one. Arms are coming close together. Feet are coming close together. We're going to take it up into a narrow squat and back up again. So the arms are coming up. It's a bit like chair pose for those of you who do yoga. So keep the weight in the heels. Good. If any of you are feeling really strong and really tough today, you can take it down, take the heels off, take them down and up. Coming down, heels, heels and down. Coming down, heels off and down and up. Coming down and heels and down and up. Otherwise, just take it down into these sitting squats. But I'm always looking for ways to progress the exercises if you want to. So if you want to progress, the heels come off, the heels come down, and you stand back up. Coming forwards and heels, heels and down. Good. Really nice. You've got about another 6 seconds. 3, 2, and 1. Good work. We're going to come straight back into that round again. Feet wider, slightly wider than hip width apart. And let's go. Coming in to our wide squats with our bicep curls. So make sure as you squat down that the knees are tracking out over the feet. I sometimes see the knees coming forwards. We don't want to have that coming, we don't want to have that happening. So try and keep those knees tracking over the direction of your feet. Good. Focus on your breathing. Again, if you notice any heaviness or any incontinence, especially as you're coming down into this squat, then either stop, take a bit of a break, or take both knees slightly closer together. Good. Focus on your breathing. Squats are super important because they really work those bum muscles and what's known as your posterior chain. So all the muscles up the back and your legs as well. And you've got 3, 2, and 1. Straight into a little boxing. So keep the arms up. And we're going to come down and down and down. Now I always do this with one foot in front of the other. But if you want to take it so that both feet are in a bit of a squat position, then do. It's completely up to you. Stay down nice and low. This is also a really good challenge as well for your pelvic floor, because in this position where you're kind of half down, as well as moving from side to side, it really tests to see how functional your pelvic floor is. So you might find that you experience a little bit of leaking during this. If you do, then that's a sign that working on pelvic floor endurance might be a good idea. If as well you have any issues with pelvic floor during this, don't forget we do have a fantastic women's health physio who is in the WhatsApp group. So you can ask her anything. And you've got 3, 2, and 1. Coming into our reverse lunges with our presses. I'll do it from this side this time. Good. Coming down and up. Nice. Good. Keep smiling. Keep breathing. If you feel like it's too much, then feel free to drop the cans. So as well as working through the legs, this is also working through the core, because we need really good stability here to help keep us balanced. So focus on the breathing, focus on your balance, and focus on your movement. Doing really well. Babies, you're doing well too. Good. And you've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Coming down to that squat position. We're going to take it out, out, in, out, up, down, and in, out, to the side, down, and in. Good. Doing really well. So don't forget, take it out even lower if you want to work your legs that even tiny bit harder. Good. So this is really nice. This is building on all the shoulder mobility stuff we did. We're strengthening, we're providing some resistance. It's really important to get a bit of resistance work as well. And these cans provide just that. So even though they're light, they are doing a good job of providing resistance. And I don't know about you, but they definitely seem to get heavier as the time goes on. Good. Focus on your breathing. And you've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Left foot in front. Come down nice and low. Squeeze the elbows together. And as we push back with that foot, we want to make a nice straight line with our body. Good. I can see some really nice triceps going on. Just make sure that when you're doing triceps, it's nice and controlled and you're not swinging through. This is an example of swinging. We're going to try and keep the elbows as still as you can. Good. Bend down even more on that left leg. Try and keep a little bit of a connection between your stomach muscles. Make sure you're breathing. We're building up single leg strength now for this, as well as arm strength. Single leg strength, super important. Start building this back up, especially if you're hoping to get back into running or anything that basically involves using one leg at a time, like walking up and down stairs. And we've got 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Over to the other side. Squeeze those elbows in nice and tight. And we're just going to kick back with that foot. Good. Keep it up, keep it up. Kick back, kick back. If any of you are feeling any issues with your lower back, then you can stand up a bit. It's also a good sign that you might want to work a bit more through core strength, because core strength is super important and kind of goes hand in hand with back strength. Think about standing up nice and tall. Try and lengthen through the spine as you're doing this. Good. Come down even lower with that knee. For the last 10, 9, 8, 7. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Last exercise. We're coming down, feet are close together, and we're taking it into our chair pose squats. Good. Coming up and down. Nice. Again, if you want to, come down, take the heels off, heels down, and up. Squeeze those knees together. Try and keep balanced. Take those heels off, and down, and back. If it's too much, then you can just take it into your chair squats. Okay, heel off, and down, and up. Good. Make sure on the way down, you don't just let the arms fall. It should be a nice, controlled motion. Try and keep your back nice and straight as well. Try not to arch it like this. You want to try and keep as flat a back as possible. So think about having some core engagement going on there as well. If you find that the higher you take your arms, the more your back seems to arch, then just take them out in front of you here. Okay. Good work, guys. We're almost done. Then we'll take it into a nice little stretch. Good. We have got 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let's hold it up here. Why not? Might as well hold this here. Hurrah! 4, 6. Let's get down even lower. 5, 4. Keep breathing. 3, 2, and 1. Stand all the way up. Let's get these cans back down to the ground. And for our cool down, let's have hands on the hips. And we're just going to rotate through the legs. So we're taking the knees up and out to the side. Good. Keep breathing all the time. And we'll start taking them in now. So from outside in. Stand up nice and tall. Try not to look out your standing leg. And keep your top part of your body nice and tall as well. Good. From here, let's just start by rolling the shoulders forwards. We'll then roll the shoulders backwards. Sorry for the invasion. Now we'll take both arms up above the head. We'll drop one hand so it's just below the back of the neck, and we're going to use our other arm to help stretch through the triceps. Good. My child has been removed. Good, and let's take it over to the other side. So I don't normally mind the kids being here, but they've got this real big thing that I like to do, which is called smashing my computer. And that inevitably cuts everyone off and makes me kind of annoyed. Okay, good. From here, we're going to sweep one arm across the body. We're going to use our other hand just to help stretch through that muscle. Good, so hold this here. Nice. And let's take it through to the other side. Good, so make sure that you're not coming up with your shoulder. Shoulder is down, down, down. Feel the stretch through this side. Good. From here, we're going to clasp our hands in front of us, and we're just going to round through that back, so nice and gently. At the same time, you can also push through those knees as well. So you're creating a bit of like an S shape. Good. And we're going to stand all the way up. We're going to clasp our hands behind our back, and we're going to push through the upper part of our back. Try not to let your lower back get involved, so you don't want to push out too much. Try and keep the bottom half nice and straight. You can tuck that pelvis in a little bit, so you're just focusing on the upper part of your body. Good. From here, take it down to one side, just feeling the stretch through here. Again, you want to try to stop this hip from coming out at the same time. Good, and over to the other side. Really nice. Hug this knee in towards your chest. And as you're standing up nice and straight, I just need to circle through the ankle. First one way. And then the other. Good. Don't let the foot drop to the ground just yet. We're just going to keep the knee up. And I just want you to tick-tock, a bit like a pendulum. You don't need to go as far as you can. We're just going to have a gentle little stretch and a cool down through these joints. Okay, see if you can keep that foot off the ground. And you're going to grab the foot, squeeze those knees in nice and tight. Stand up nice and tall, but make sure you're not pushing out through the chest, so tuck that back in. Press down with this foot, and I also want you to pull that pelvis forward. As soon as you do that, you should notice that it starts to stretch up through these quad muscles. You're going to hold this here, make sure your standing leg got a slight bend in the knee. You don't want to look out that leg. Good. And let's take it over to the other side. So we're going to hug the left knee in towards our chest. We're going to stand up nice and tall. And as we're doing this stretch, we're also going to work through the ankle. So circles first one way and then the other. What do you think of my leggings? They're new from a company called Elu Fit. I really love their stuff because they're seamless as well. And keep the knee up nice and tall. And we're just going to pendulum first one way and then the other. Good. So you should feel that working. One through the legs, through the thigh, but as well through the hips. Good. So keeping that foot off the ground if you can. You're going to squeeze these knees in nice and tight. Stand up nice and tall. You're going to tuck that chest in and you're going to pull this pelvis under. At the same time, you can press that foot in towards your hand. You should feel a nice stretch through this thigh. Good. From here, last one, we're going to take the feet twice as wide as your shoulder width. And I just need to come down, taking a deep breath in. And a deep breath out. So as you breathe in, imagine breathing in yellow sunshine, hope, confidence and positivity, and breathe out all those stresses and negative thoughts. Take a deep breath in. And breathe out all the tiredness and anxieties you might have. We've got a last one. Take a deep breath in. And this time we're going to take the hands down towards our center. And I want you guys just to give yourselves a massive round of applause to yourself. Give thanks to your body for it being so amazing. Might feel a bit weak now, but you know it's going to get stronger. And also to little ones. If you want, you can finish off with a bit of a shake through the legs, just to get all the blood and all those muscles definitely loose and limber. Shake through the arms as well. And a little whole body shake. Guys, you have been awesome. Well done. Yeah, well done, guys.
Thank you.
Fab, you are most welcome, Candice. Good to see you. And yeah, really looking forward to seeing you again at another session. If you have any questions or there's anything you want us to particularly focus on for a future session, then do let me know. But otherwise, I will see you again in a bit.